Right, mate, let me ask you something straight up. How does a bloke who just stacked 5 consecutive Cup Series road course wins, won Sunoco Rookie of the Year, and bagged the Charlotte Roval against Kyle Larson himself, how does that bloke end up bounced out of the round of 16 at Bristol while the team's new golden boy gets handed a multi-year Cup deal 3 weeks earlier? This isn't a race recap, this is a fair dinkum investigation because something stinks at Trackhouse Racing and every ANZAC fan watching has felt it in their guts since August. The narrative they're selling us in America, Shane just can't do ovals. The reality on the telemetry sheets, a whole lot dodgier than that. Today on NASCAR Nation Decoded, we're cracking open the Trackhouse vault. We're looking at pit timing, equipment allocation, and the suspicious silence around the number 88 because if Justin Marks is quietly pivoting his entire operation toward Connor Zilisch and pushing SVG into the role of road course specialist for hire, you, the ANZAC faithful, deserve to know about it. Buckle in. This one's going to ruffle some feathers. Let's lay the cards on the table. In 2025, Shane van Gisbergen drove the number 88 Chevrolet to 5 Cup Series victories, Mexico City, Chicago Street, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and the Charlotte Roval. 5 wins, that's more than Chase Elliott, more than Denny Hamlin, more than William Byron in the regular season. Now meet Connor Zilisch. 19 years old, North Carolina born, and absolutely electric in the Xfinity Series. 10 wins, regular season championship, 7 poles, and a winning percentage so high it broke historical records. 29.6% of his Xfinity starts ended in victory lane. The kid's the real deal, no argument from us, but here's where it gets curly. On August 23rd, 2025, a Trackhouse announced Zilisch would drive a full-time Cup ride in 2026, replacing Daniel Suarez. Multi-year contract, fanfare, press blitz. The American media went into meltdown mode about the future of NASCAR. Meanwhile, SVG's own multi-year extension, announced just 2 weeks earlier on August 8th, got buried like yesterday's chip wrapper. Same team, same length of deal, wildly different treatment. Why? Here's the technical bit, and pay attention because this is where the sabotage whispers start making sense. Through the first 19 races of 2025, SVG's average finish was 22.947, driven almost entirely by his oval struggles. Now compare that to what was happening inside the shop. Ross Chastain getting the Coca-Cola 600 setup priority, Suarez getting Daytona Aero packages, and SVG repeatedly cycling through crew chief frustrations. Reddit user data from August showed Trackhouse oval averages post-All-Star, Chastain 20th, Suarez 24th, SVG 24th. 3 drivers, 3 different setups, near identical mediocre results. That's not a driver problem, mates. That's a downforce philosophy problem at the organizational level. And funnily enough, that's the same philosophy Zilisch is about to inherit, but with the full backing of the engineering room. Quick pause. If you're an ANZAC fan watching this from Auckland, Brisbane, Perth, Christchurch, anywhere across the Tasman, this channel exists because of you. We're not part of the American NASCAR press machine. We're not on Trackhouse's media list. We're the only mob asking the hard questions about Shane. So here's the deal. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. Not for us, for Shane. Every subscriber is one more voice in the ANZAC movement telling the American establishment that the bloke from Auckland deserves a fair go. We're already 50,000 strong. Let's make it 100,000 before Daytona. Comment fair go below if you're with us. Right back to the investigation. Let me walk you through 3 races where SVG copped the rough end of the pineapple because the pattern is too consistent to be coincidence. Exhibit A, the Southern 500 at Darlington. SVG was so cooked by the pit strategy calls that he actually went on the radio and apologized for swearing. Think about that for a second. A V8 Supercars champion, 3-time Bathurst winner, driving a Cup car so poorly balanced, he's losing his composure on open mics. The Times Free Press reported he complained about the handling and strategy repeatedly. And what did Trackhouse do publicly? Nothing. Crickets. Compare that to how Hendrick handles Larson's complaints, full engineering review, public crew chief shuffles, transparent communication. Exhibit B, the Kansas comeback, September 28th, Hollywood Casino 400, SVG fought through a pre-race penalty and a 2-lap deficit to score his first ever Cup Oval top 10, finishing P10. He told the media he was over the moon. Now ask yourself this, mate, why was there a pre-race penalty in the first place? That's an inspection failure. That's a team error, not a driver error. And it came in the playoffs when every point matters. Pattern interrupt. Here's a stat that'll knock your jandals off. Connor Zilisch erased a 188-point deficit to Justin Allgaier in just 2 months in the Xfinity Series. He did that with Trackhouse allocated resources, JR Motorsports equipment, and a development pipeline that was already prioritizing his ascent. Meanwhile, SVG was getting recycled setups originally engineered for Daniel Suarez. Tell me that's a level playing field. Go on, try. Exhibit C, Bristol Elimination, the round of 16 cutoff race. SVG's Cup playoff dream ended on a half-mile concrete bull ring where his team, let's be honest, never gave him a car capable of running top 15. His post-race interview was measured, polite, classically Kiwi, but the eyes told the real story. He knew. He absolutely knew. Here's the kicker. Just 48 hours after that elimination, the rumor mill in the Athletic and other outlets started suggesting Zilisch's Cup arrival was imminent and that the technical group at Trackhouse was already drawing up 2026 simulator schedules built around Zilisch's oval data, not Shane's. That's not a coincidence. That's a reprioritization. And every fair dinkum motorsport journalist in Australia and New Zealand should be screaming about it. Now, here's where I'm going to put my neck out, and you can call me a stirrer if you want. SVG signed his multi-year extension in August 2025. The exact terms never publicly disclosed. The New York Times' athletic piece from May 2025 hinted that both Van Gisbergen and Zilisch have terms remaining on their respective contracts, which in NASCAR contract speak almost always means performance clauses, manufacturer options, and release windows. Picture this scenario, mate. What if SVG's contract includes a clause that allows him to test the free agent waters if Trackhouse fails to deliver a top 15 average finish across ovals in 2026? What if there's a manufacturer release window? Because remember, Chevrolet has stakes in multiple teams that could see him walk to Hendrick Motorsports as a road course ace alongside Larson. And this is the spicy one, what about 23XY Racing? Toyota desperately wants a road course killer to neutralize SVG's dominance. Tyler Reddick can't beat him. Christopher Bell can't beat him. The smartest move 23XI could make is by the bloke who keeps embarrassing them, and with the Michael Jordan Denny Hamlin NASCAR lawsuit finally sorted, 23XI has charters to fill and money to spend. Pattern interrupt pop quiz. Of the 5 road course wins SVG scored in 2025, how many came from him passing a Trackhouse teammate to do it? 3. He's not just beating the field, he's beating his own team. That's the level we're talking about. Now ask yourself, would Hendrick give him a properly engineered oval car? Mate, Kyle Larson runs sprint cars on Tuesdays and wins Cup races on Sundays in the same Hendrick equipment. The infrastructure is there. The only thing missing is the Kiwi behind the wheel. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying the conditions are ripe. And if Trackhouse keeps treating Shane like a road course Uber driver while rolling out the red carpet for Zilisch, don't be surprised if the silly season of 2026 turns into a full-blown earthquake. So where does this leave us, the ANZAC faithful? It leaves us demanding a fair go. 5 wins in a Rookie Cup season is not just road course magic, it's historic. Shane van Gisbergen has more Cup wins in 2025 than most American drivers manage in a decade, and he's being treated increasingly like a niche specialist while a teenager who's never won a Cup race gets the keys to the kingdom. We're not here to tear down Connor Zilisch. The kid's brilliant, but brilliance shouldn't come at the cost of sidelining a bloke who's already delivered. That's not how you build a championship organization. That's how you lose one of the most marketable drivers in the sport to your direct competitor. Hit subscribe, drop fair go in the comments, and get ready because next week's episode is the big one. We've been digging into leaked telemetry data comparing SVG's number 88 to Chastain's number 1 across 3 ovals. And what we found will make your jaw hit the floor. The numbers don't lie, and Trackhouse won't like what we're about to show you. Until then, keep the rage, keep the loyalty, and never let the establishment forget who the real ANZAC champion is. Cheers, mates. See you next week.